there is a galaxy. In its spiral arms, 400 billion stars. One of them is ours. 10 billion years before the Earth existed, the Milky Way was already old. Inside its spiral arms, vast clouds of hydrogen and dust. The remnants of stars that had lived and died long before our sun was born. Far out in one of those spiral arms, a cloud of gas and dust drifts through the darkness. Cold, silent, waiting. Deep within the collapsing cloud, pressure rises, higher, higher, until at last, a star ignites. Around the newborn star, the leftover material spreads into a vast spinning disk. Heating, colliding, separating. This is where planets begin. Dust clings to dust. Pebbles become stone. Stone becomes worlds. Gravity is patient. It has all the time in the universe. In the third orbit from the Sun, one growing world begins to dominate, gathering material, growing larger, sweeping its path clean. The Earth is being born. But this Earth is nothing like the world we know. There are no oceans, no continents, no sky, only a glowing sphere of molten rock, a planet still under construction. For hundreds of millions of years, the young solar system is a battlefield. Asteroids collide, planets collide, everything strikes everything, and the Earth grows. Nearby, another world is taking shape, a planet roughly the size of Mars. Today, we call it Theia. For now, it follows its own path. But gravity is always at work, slowly, relentlessly. Over millions of years, the orbits begin to shift. The paths of Earth and Theia draw closer. Neither world knows. Theia grows larger, brighter, closer, year after year, century after century. There is nothing to stop it. The collision lasts only a few hours. Its consequences will last billions of years. 4.5 billion years later, we call what it created the Moon. Moon is born, new, brilliant, still glowing with the heat of its creation, 15 times closer than it is today, already drifting away. The Earth begins to cool. A crust forms across the molten surface. For the first time in its history, solid ground exists. Two worlds now circle together. Both scarred, both survivors. The Moon's gravity pulls against the molten planet below. Tides rise hundreds of meters high. Entire oceans of rock move to its rhythm, and the Moon begins its long retreat. Seen from space, 4,400,000,000 years ago, the Earth is still dark, still volcanic, still violent. Without Theia, there may have been no Moon. Without the Moon, perhaps none of what comes next. 4.5 billion years ago, not yet a planet, a wound, a ball of molten rock, still glowing from the violence of its own birth. The surface exceeds 600 degrees. The atmosphere is carbon dioxide and sulfur. Nothing here could survive. Nothing is trying to. This is the Hadean, named for hell. It fits. For 300 million years, the solar system's leftover debris rains down without mercy. Every impact resets the surface, a world still being assembled. Then, water. Not the rain we know. The first. Each drop exploding into steam on contact with rock still hot from the Earth's interior. Within 100 million years, the first ocean, not blue, bronze, hot, mineral-laden, but water, vast and permanent. Everything that happens next happens here. Lightning strikes the sea, millions of bolts per day. Each one dissolves energy into the mineral-rich water. The chemistry is being driven toward complexity. The moon, still close, raises tides 10 times larger than today's. These pools fill and drain, again and again, concentrating chemistry with each cycle. Three kilometers below the surface, something else is happening. Heat from the Earth's interior is escaping through the ocean floor, driving chemistry that sunlight cannot reach. Hydrothermal vents, superheated water meeting cold sea. The chemical gradient here is the steepest on the planet. Chemistry loves a gradient. In the pores of the mineral surface, molecules are cycling, concentrating, reacting, nothing alive, but the boundary has never been closer. The first boundary, molecules arranging themselves into a sphere, separating inside from outside. A protocell, not alive, but no longer just chemistry. One becomes two. Each carries the same instructions. Each begins to grow. Life has discovered how to copy itself. It will not stop. A thin, dark film spreading outward across the seafloor. Unremarkable in appearance. For the first time, life is visible from the outside. These organisms split water for energy and release what they cannot use, oxygen, one bubble at a time. The future atmosphere begins its long accumulation. In the tidal shallows, life builds monuments without meaning to, stromatolites, layered domes of accumulated generations. Each layer, 1,000 years of living, the oldest visible record of life on Earth. 1 billion years of this. The tidal flat covered wall to wall with living structures. This carpet of organisms is changing the chemistry of the planet's atmosphere, one breath at a time. Life is not selective about conditions. In near-boiling acid water, it still finds a way. Where there is energy in liquid water, life uses both. 1 billion years have passed since the first ocean. This water is not the same water. It has been altered by the chemistry of everything that has ever lived in it. From orbit, the planet looks different. Cloud cover, an atmosphere that absorbs and reflects. At the limb of the world, a thin line of blue, oxygen, accumulating for 2 billion years. The moon is unchanged. It carries every scar from its formation, perfectly preserved. Earth is not the same world. Something small and patient and relentless changed it from the inside. Sunlight reaches the mat. Each cell a solar engine, splitting water, releasing oxygen. One bubble rises, finds the surface, the first breath. 1 billion years have passed. What was once bare rock and empty sea is covered in life. Every surface, every shallows, green. Look up from underwater and you see them, millions of bubbles rising toward the light. Each one, a molecule of oxygen, never before released on this planet. Each organism is smaller than can be seen. Together they are the largest living engine the planet has ever produced, working without pause, without intention. The seafloor is no longer bare. A living carpet extends in every direction. Below it, chemistry. Above it, light. In the tidal shallows, the mats grow upward, layer by layer, year by year, towers. They are not trying to, they are simply living. Seen from below, they look like cities. They are not cities. They are the result of 2 billion years of patience. And rising from all of it, a constant column of gas, oxygen accumulating now in the sea, waiting for what comes next. The ocean has held dissolved iron since the planet formed. For billions of years, iron and oxygen never met. Now they meet. The chemistry is simple. Iron plus oxygen, iron oxide, rust, the first color change in the history of the sea. It falls like snow, red-orange particles drifting down through the water column. The ocean is sorting itself, oxygen above, rust below. From above, the change is total. The sea that was bronze turns red. The sky above it darkens. A planet in the middle of its first crisis. The layers accumulate, each one a chapter of a story that will last 300 million years. Chemistry inscribed in stone. Red, dark, red, dark. Each band, 10,000 years. The alternating chemistry of a world finding a new equilibrium. These cliffs exist today. They were laid down 2 billion years ago, the largest archive of life we have, written not in words, in iron. For 300 million years, the ocean is red. The sky is dark with vapor and volcanic gas. It does not look like the world we know. It is not. From orbit, a different planet. The land reddened by iron oxide. The sea a deep rust. Oxygen thickening in an atmosphere nothing alive can yet breathe. The organisms that built this world are dying in it. Oxygen is poison to them. They retreat to the deep sediment, to the dark. Life does not end. It relocates. It has a name, the Great Oxygenation Event, the first mass extinction on Earth, caused entirely by life. At the edge of the Red Sea, something green remains. The survivors. They adapted to live in the poison they created. This, too, is life. The iron runs out. There is no more dissolved iron to consume the oxygen. For the first time, a sky with oxygen in it. Life is still here, smaller, more dispersed, changed, but here. The catastrophe it caused became the world it inherited. A bubble rises, slow, unhurried, certain. It finds the surface, still breathing. The rust era is over. The iron is exhausted. The ocean is clearing. The mat survived everything, and it is still here. This is the last sunrise of the red world. The ocean below is changing color for the first time in 2 billion years. After this, the cold comes. From orbit, something new. A thin line of blue at the edge of the atmosphere. 2 billion years of microbial oxygen, made visible from space. The cyanobacteria that freed the oxygen did not intend this. The methane greenhouse is gone. The planet, for the first time, is cooling. The iron in the ocean is exhausted. The water is changing, from rust red to clear gray. An ocean no one has ever seen before. Underwater, the new ocean, clear, cold, a different chemistry than the rust era. The mat is still here, still breathing, but the world is changing. Ice. For the first time in Earth's history, ice on the ocean. The Huronian glaciation has begun. "300 million years. That is how long this ice will last. The largest freeze the planet has ever known."
Days.
From orbit, the transformation is unmistakable. The last exposed landscapes are disappearing beneath an advancing mantle of ice. Earth is becoming a frozen world from pole to pole. Entirely frozen, the oceans have vanished beneath a global shell of ice. The continents are indistinguishable from the sea. This is Snowball Earth. On the surface, the planet appears lifeless. An endless desert of ice beneath a pale sky. But below the ice, life is waiting. Below the frozen surface, liquid water persists, kept liquid by the heat of the planet's interior. A sealed world, cold and dark, but not empty. The green mat is still here, under kilometers of ice, in cold and darkness, still making oxygen, still alive. The volcanoes beneath the ice became life's refuge. Their heat prevented the oceans from freezing completely. And for 300 million years, they continued to release carbon dioxide into the sky above. At the surface, volcanoes break through the frozen world. Lava meets ice in explosions of steam. But the most important change is invisible. Carbon dioxide is accumulating in the atmosphere. Life survives in the only space that remains livable. Ice above, fire below, green in the middle, still breathing. The volcanoes have changed the atmosphere. 300 million years of carbon dioxide have reversed the freeze. Now, the ice can no longer hold. The thaw has begun. After 300 million years of cold, golden light falls on a breaking world. Water is returning, and the planet is waking once again. The mats have returned to the surface. The same life that survived beneath the ice now lives again in the sunlight. It never stopped. It simply endured. From orbit, the frozen world is breaking apart. Volcanic fires glow through the retreating ice. The planet is waking from a 300 million year winter. Golden light falls across a fracturing world. Water returns to channels sealed for 300 million years, and the planet begins to open once again. Sunlight reaches the mat once again. The same green life, the same oxygen bubbles rising toward the surface. Life returns, and the world begins again.